getting better as a whole?
Yeah, I felt like that way at the end of the first half last week. And the second half was a little bit different. Yeah, I think there's growth there. I think there's progress. I think that as a staff, as a group of players and coaches, we're still trying to figure out what it is we do best, who fits where. There's still a little bit of that going on, and that'll be throughout the season. We'll be doing that.
What tells you you're seeing that improvement? What are you looking at to say, okay?
I always go first to communication. Like if the communication is smoother, if it's more confident, like we just did a walkthrough here, and to your point, so we just did the walkthrough, and I noticed Thornhill a lot louder. Now you go in the walkthrough, there's no noise, it's quiet, right? But I hear him, and he actually had made a mistake, and I said, that's okay. You're being assertive, you're being loud, the guys are hearing you. I don't mind making mistakes in a walkthrough like that. So the communication part of it would be one indicator. That would be pre-snap, and then certainly post-snap when guys are communicating, especially in man or in zones when we always talk about post-snap communication. There's more of that.
Coach, how much, I know Tyron is probably tough to answer, but like the plays that Tyron's almost made with the interceptions, he was handling the ball.
Yeah.
How many parts is instincts, prep work, film work, just natural ability, scheme, route coverage?
Yeah.
How many parts each of those?
Well, it's all of it, BJ, but I will say this. The encouraging thing is we're there, able to possibly make the play, right? Now, I got complete confidence in Tyron that he'll make those going forward. He typically does. I mean, nobody's beating himself up more than him because we texted back and forth after the game, and it's like he said, he goes, he expects himself to make those plays, and he knows his teammates do. And so when he lets his teammates down, he feels bad. But I expect him to jump right back up. But I'm encouraged that guys are in position to make plays. I'd be really discouraged if we were nowhere to be found, and they're completing them. So there's a positive there.
Steve, following up on that a little bit, it seemed like Tyron was sort of roaming a little bit more, and there was a little bit more freedom. I'm wondering if what I saw was...
You're accurate. There was some plays we put in there because of the quarterback we were dealing with.
Okay, so that was a scheme thing.
Some of that was, yeah. We had some eyes there. The amazing thing about, and look, I got a great deal of respect. I mean, that was the number one offense going in, and we know why now. He's a headache. I'm still taking Advil for... we couldn't get him on the ground, but the thing he does is he extends the down. What I thought he would do more of on those scrambles was go ahead and run it. We were concerned about that, and that's what you saw Tyron doing.
Okay, so obviously a much different quarterback.
Yeah,
Sunday,
yeah.
Maybe not the same deal.
No, maybe not.
It seemed like he kind of created some opportunities. I'm thinking specifically that play near the goal line he peeled off of.
Talking about Tyron?
Yeah. And almost had the play in the end zone.
Where he almost caught it? Yeah, there was a little bit of that. I'm not sure that was one of those specific for him, for Lamar, but I think it might have been just one of our normal red zone coverages. But instinctively, that's what you were talking about, BJ. I did think that was an instinctive play. And like I say, he just plucks that thing and catches it. It's amazing, that one and maybe a couple of, it would have been a completely different outcome had we made a couple of those. It would have made it a heck of a lot easier. But maybe we needed a game like that to help us going forward. Who knows? Might be a blessing in disguise.
Coach, with Frank, it seems like there's a little bit of frustration there. Are you seeing any of that?
Not really. I mean, he came up with a big sack when we really needed it. I think it held him to a field goal there. People are concentrating on him. We knew that was going to happen. We're always looking for ways to put him in different spots so we can avoid that. But they're chipping him, they're doubling, and when you're that kind of football player, people are going to do that. Just got to get used to it. Hopefully, it'll open up something for somebody else.
When other teams scheme against him, that should open theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically.
Are you seeing that kind of?
There was a little bit of that. Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel made a play, and it was a little bit for that reason. I remember back in in preseason games, I thought that happened a couple of times. Oak finishing on a play. Hopefully, I mean, that's what you want to have happen when a team concentrates on one guy.
Has Agwa's production been like a relative surprise for you guys? Did you expect Agwa to be as productive as he's been earlier?
Emmanuel?
Yeah.
A little unsure. If you remember going back to training camp, he was injured for a period there. Actually, and Brendan and I had talked about it. He was really, excelling. And they got hurt, and we felt like it took him a while to get back to where he was at the point right before he got hurt, and I think he's getting there now. He's more confident now. You know, on our side of the ball with any players in this league, confidence is huge. You know, you make a couple of plays, you get a little bit more confident. It's probably like playing golf, right? Hit a couple of shots, you get a little more confident. But I think he's getting there.
Sorry, Steve. One guy that has had really good stretches in his career is Rashad Breeland. He seems to be in another good stretch in his career. Just, is there something that you've seen that has allowed him to play well, particularly in sort of the top matchups of wide receivers?
Well, I think we found out that his best spot is up there close to the line of scrimmage covering guys. And so we want to play the guy's strength. The thing I like about Bree is I said to him yesterday when we had our little meeting, a walkthrough, that I thought he had a pretty good game. And he said, nah, I didn't have a good game. He caught the ball twice because he was going with 15 quite a bit, and he did actually get 2 catches. I thought we did a nice job containing him because he can be a problem. So going back to what you're saying, I think Bree's attitude has been terrific. He's getting more confident. The guys are getting a little bit more confident together. So hopefully that continues.
So going to Adam's question earlier, you had mentioned that it's going to be a continuing process in what you have with your defense. As a coordinator, and obviously the change of scheme from a 3-4 to a 4-3, is there a benchmark during the season where you say, I want to know what I have by the second quarter of the season? First quarter's in the books now. I want to
no, I mean, I mentioned this going back that I think it takes a month to figure out, but the unknowns or the things you can't control come into play. I mean, should we have injury situations, then that's a whole nother deal. The people we're playing. I mean, last week's defending that scheme was a whole different animal. We're back to, I'm not going to call it conventional offense, but we're back to something that we're used to seeing. And you know, it's ongoing. This question has been asked a number of times. You know, at what point do you know? There's not a set point. I think it's going to be ongoing throughout the season. You can get to the 16th game of the season and say, let's try this, or we think we can put a guy in here. But I would hope, as we get going here, we would know our players. You know, they would know the scheme a little bit better. That's just natural growth, I think.
In all your time, when you go and look at quarterbacks week in and week out, what makes a good deep ball thrower? You've gone against a couple this year.
Probably the combination of the thrower and the guy catching it. You know, I think back to Tom Brady with Randy Moss. You know, 2 talented people, but they had, once they got in a groove, as far as where Tom would put the ball. And I mean, I just think it's probably a better question for offensive coaches, but to me it seems like, yeah, I mean, the guys that have been together a lot in the timing, we talked about it. I'll give you an example. In the Jacksonville game, our hope was, now I know Nick Foles got hurt, but our hope was that he had not had enough time with his receivers that we could do such and such because, you know, disrupt the timing. These teams that get in a groove, you know, what I see is quarterbacks with a real good touch, and they know how to throw their receiver open, for lack of a better way to say it. Those are the ones that are tough to defend.
One of the things
Couple more guys.
One of the things Tyron talked about yesterday is probably the most veteran group of receivers that you guys have faced outside of the tight end, but those 3 guys have all had a little experience. Galladay, not as much, but Jones and Amendola.
Yeah.
What's particularly challenging against going up against guys that maybe not have spent a lot of time together, but have been in this league?
Yeah, Brendan Daly, I think, said it first, but this group of quarterback, receiver, this whole package, is probably the best we've played so far. I mean, we've had some real skilled receivers to play, some good quarterbacks, you know, a guy can run, but as a group, we think this is the toughest we're going to go against. I got a great deal of respect for Danny Amendola inside. We had him in St. Louis. I've always loved him. I think he's a great player in the role that he plays in there. And you got 2 outside guys that are big and can run. With a quarterback, by the way, who's been in the league a long time and can throw. He can make all the throws, and he's got a strong arm. They present a huge challenge. We got to find ways not to get in mismatch situations. We're aware of that, but they also find ways to get the guys that they want to get the ball to open. There's things that they're doing you can see to get certain guys the ball. So, yeah, it'll start up front like every game. Hopefully, this quarterback won't be quite as elusive as the last one. I thought our guys up front, I mean, you talk about getting tired in a game. Nothing tires you out more as a D lineman than chasing a quarterback around. We'll see how this week goes.
Yards per carry have been somewhat high, and again,
Yards per
carry.
Yeah.
And that can be like a lot of game flow, you know, and that comes into it. But
Yeah.
how do you set the tone against another running back who's going to get the ball quite a bit?
Yeah, I think they'll commit to the run. I mean, the head coach is, it looks like is built that way, mentality-wise. Everybody wants to keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes. We get that. The best way to do it is to run the football when on third down. I mean, our flashed up thing first meeting was stop the run and win third down. I mean, if we can do that and get the ball back to our offense, I think we've got a pretty good chance of doing well in the game. But this team does commit to running the football, and if we don't get better at that, and we can't get the ball back to Patrick quick enough. So we're all aware of it, and we've worked hard this week.
Last one, Matt. Along that same line, you know, giving up 200 yards to Baltimore, how much of that was really just the scheme, the way you wanted to approach them, versus there are things you need to get better on against the run?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I thought we did well. I thought we did really good in the first half. From a total scheme standpoint, we knew that they would get some of their running yards. That's how much we respected what they did. But having said that, from our standpoint, as prideful defenders, we just felt that it wasn't sturdy enough. You know, it was too soft, it was too leaky, and the explosive run plays bother us. I mean, it doesn't matter who you play in this league. The ones you got to eliminate, in my opinion, are the explosive runs, and we're concentrated on trying to do that. And now against a team that can also run the football, so we got to step up and do that.
Okay, thanks,
Okay, thank you.